Hello everyone and welcome back. I know on NACL we talk a lot about, these players and their journeys, where they've been, where they're going. And I thought in the spirit of that, it might be fun to do some tarot card readings for the players of these two teams. I picked up a pack from the thrift store, so I feel like this could be fun if we want to do a thrift store tarot cards.
Hey. You can pay less than $1 to find out what your future is at Goodwill?
If you want to know your future for only $1, I don't know. Woo. I feel like that could be some cursed nonsense right there, but you could if you really wanted to.
Why pay $1 when we could do it for free with Sierra?
Can't argue with that.
Yeah.
Let's wait 5. Let's wait 5 minutes. Let's kind of see how this goes first. All right. So
I trust you.
So I'm gonna have you guys tell me the player that you would like to get a reading on. If you have a specific thing you would like to ask away. If you don't, that's okay. I will use the magic of the cards and think of a prompt. I'm gonna show you the card. You're gonna be the one to interpret it for me, okay?
All right.
All right. Either of you want to go first?
I'll take it this time.
All right. Well, let's see it. Let's see it.
Right.
Give me sketch.
Give me a sketch. All right. So for sketch, what does sketch need to know to be moving past this AD portion of his career? These are your.
All right, show me the card. To move past this AD portion of his career, what he needs to do is just give up on support, bro. It's time to head to the mid lane. That's where all the mages are. Just go ahead and grab that. You want to be a king. You want to be at the top wall. Who else is a king? Emperor, technically. It's Azir. AD was never meant for you, Sketch. I'm sorry. Support was never meant for you, Sketch. I'm sorry. The truth hurts. It's going to be the reverse swap. You're going from support to the mid lane. That's what the cards tell you. You just got to stick with it.
Right, all right. And I just want to say in advance, if any of this comes true, when all this comes true, let's come back to this moment when Sketch is crushing it over in a mid, all right? Like that. Good stuff. All right, Cubby, vote for you.
Give me the carry.
All right.
Give me the carry.
You're going to take it.
So what does Shaden need to know about his path to LCS? We're going to give you one card for this one.
What? The cat? Oh my god.
Like Calmer's cat? We bring Zuby into this?
Is Smoothie does Smoothie have to play Yuumi? Is this it?
It is up to your interpretation. And the key to interpretate, stay calm and let your intuitive abilities connect with the card, okay?
I need coffee for this one. Give me a sec. All right. Shaden.
Humble cat.
You know how kitties, they sneak around?
Yeah.
And also, do you know how Yuumi is about to get kneecapped?
Yeah.
Well, you know who could be back if we get rid of the spider in that spot? Nidalee. You're a sick Nidalee player, all right? Nidalee is going to be the first champ that Shaden plays on the LCS stage. Nailed it. That's what he needs. Well, he's already gonna get there. But
if we're getting points, Cubby deserves that one. That was great.
Nailed it.
Right. It was the coffee right beforehand.
Yeah, I needed the brain blast.
You actually kept it in this realm. I started going to some weird hypothetical mid lane sketch.
What do you mean? None of this is in the realm. We're working with tarot cards. All right.
There is a point to be had there. All right. Zrax, who do you want to get a reading for next?
I want a reading for Soul.
Soul. Ooh. Yeah. I'm soul searching. All right.
Ooh.
All right. For Soul, what is the lesson that they are learning this season in NACL working with Shaden?
This is too true. Give me the question one more time. I just want to make sure.
What Soul is learning, what lesson there is to be here in this season of NACL working with Shaden?
Shaden had the whole thing with the comp ban before, got to return last split, now developing up and looking great. But the thing is, we need to make sure that Shaden stays in that state. And who do we recruit for EGC? We get Soul, one of the better, more soft-spoken people. I know you've seen Soul's interviews. Soul just has nothing but love in his heart. Used to be called Anime Girl, so that means that Shaden has an anime waifu to depend upon over onto that top side. Soul's one of the nicest people. Just keep it up. Just keep putting your heart out there with Shaden, and together you'll learn that bromance and further your development of your career.
I think I'm taking this card out of the deck from here on out.
I think love for Soul is just like that. That was really meant for him. I'm just gonna be honest. He demonstrates a lot of love on the Rift. Also flexing Sejuani. Nothing says love like that.
Oh, goodness. I'm just saying, too, the whole point of tarot cards is you shuffling them while you're thinking and embodying the question, and then the cards are supposed to lead you to that. So that's kind of, the nail a little too on the head for this. That's a little weird. I'm getting creeped out. All right. Cubby, who do you want to pick next?
NXI. I'm on the jungle train. Also NXI, return to comp. Exciting. So what's up?
All right. With this return to competitive play, what should we be expecting out of NXI in the coming years?
Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle.
Shuffle. Me too.
Ghost and Storm. Well, sometimes getting back into the league, getting back into competitive, you can sometimes be invisible. The Kane did do some ghosting into other people and going invisible in that last game. We'll call it that. But hey, the Storm, there's always something good that comes after the Storm coming back, all right? NXI, when he was playing at the highest level, I always thought NXI was really good. He was very promising on FlyQuest, and he made a big splash with Hunter next. I think that NXI, once he is done being a ghost and overcomes the Storm, has a lot of good things ahead of him.
That was beautiful.
Write some poetry.
I do not write poetry, and I do not plan on starting, so that was my pouring out whatever creative influences I have right there.
Tissues.
All right, for the last cards drawn for each of you, I'm going to let you two ask whatever question you want, whether it be about your own journey, whether it be about the players, the teams, whatever you want.
I'm going to cut Deserex off here, all right? Because I got a question I'm very curious about.
All right.
How long until Sketch is back playing support? All right? Sketch did fine as AD that game, but I'm really, really excited for Sketch support. I know CLG Faith wants that. Sketch support when? That's my question.
What's scary about asking tarot cards direct questions is sometimes you're locking someone into a path that could be negative. So
I'm willing to take that risk for Sketch.
All right. Oh.
Wait, is this what I have to do?
I dropped a card, and dropping cards I think is bad luck. So,
No! What are you doing? Wait, okay, he's got a the last slice? What does it mean? I'm confused. I regret asking the question. All right, Sketch, you know what? You got to overcome the mountain. That is playing AD on 3 days of practice beforehand, okay? But, god damn, how does pizza tie into this?
The last slice in particular. The last slice.
Any last slice advice from the host? What do the tarot cards mean, Sierra? Please.
You're supposed to interpret them, Cubby.
I will pay you. I will pay you. This is free. I will pay you for the advice, all right? Where's my wallet? It's not with me.
To not ask direct questions, you're directly screwing over Sketch right now. What are you doing?
What? Oh, I'm not supposed to do that? I'm sorry, Sketch. All right, no. Take advantage of the last slice of pizza, guys, all right? If you paid for it, it's all yours, all right? We wanted Sketch support. That was CLG Faith, so the last slice is getting him back there, all right? Get him back to support.
Deserex, we gotta be real quick with this. I got a question.
I got a question. Yeah. When does Serenok teach Kangas how to get buff?
I mean, he's already working on his team, but I like you're just adding more.
How do I interpret this? Okay.
It's what does it mean to you?
What does it mean to me? Well, what it means to me is jealousy, because there is nothing but pure salt coming out from Kangas because he can't keep up with a lot of these arms. Last year, he had to compete with Hanser. Now he has to compete with Serenok. Kangas is feeling very, very salty. I know this is supposed to be about Serenok, but I just made it about Kangas because I want to talk trash about Kangas. So I'm going to talk trash about Kangas. Kangas is in danger of Serenok not just controlling the entirety of the mid lane, but controlling your job, Steve. Serenok's coming for it. You're no longer going to be our host. We're hiring Serenok. There's your bit. We're done.
Oh, actually, I love that personally. I'm super in for Serenok on air.
All right. I think we got a little carried away with the cards. I think it turned a little personal there at the end. I'm going to stay well out of this conflict between you and Steve, and I'm going to send you two off to draft and the game. I'm going to see you later.
Take care, Sierra, and thank you for the tarot card readings.
Those were some pretty high-quality cards from being free from Goodwill, I must say.
So many different people have so many different skills. Sierra,
I know, I'm just talking about a goddamn video game, man. I got nothing.
I'm still fighting my mustache hair. I've been fighting it all day, by the way. This is going to be a recurring thing where you just see me brush my mustache.
Hey, you know what it is? Jungle Diff. All right, moving on. Speaking of Jungle Diff, Shaden Viego, is it banned? That's the next question. Do we deny Shaden from Viego?
Still trying to catch up on what... Yeah. Deny it. What does that have to do with my mustache?
I don't know, brush. You said brush. Yeah, that's where we got. All right. So Varus taken off the board. I'm curious to see if EG want to start with an early Ashe or Jhin. Again, mobility known for Jhin. Very comfortable blinding it. And it really does feel like right now, EG, they're kind of putting their chips in the Shaden basket. They keep on waiting, for Shaden to, get that champ later in draft. Or really feels like he's the one stepping up for them. I think that Shaden... we'll have to see what ends up happening here and when Viego's taken off the board, if at all. As Ashe is taken off the board, could see a Kate Lux. That was the lead that CLG or EG had recently with all the junglers still on the board. So will be that Kate first picked, and we'll see what the answer is here for CLG. I'm expecting another Jhin.
A lock-in. Still looking at Shaden, though. Now, Shaden, if you're able to stifle Shaden, it feels like you take away so much power from EGC, so that jungle pull becomes that much more important for CLG Faith. However, we're going back over to the bot lane for CLG Faith, hovering onto the Jhin, and going to have that locked in.
And I'm curious what happens with Heimerdinger here. If Plux is willing to play it, or if Smoothie is even willing to play it. I know that Kate Lux is the combo. I am still expecting that. Smoothie had a very good Lux game 2 yesterday, to help out Shaden, but I was curious about the Heimer. I thought Smoothie played Heimer really well. Some of the little things I look for, like following up the bouncing bomb with a turret, stuff like that. Just small Heimer mechanics. I thought Smoothie was doing really well, and also, keep in mind, he got a kill in that 2v3 and got out as well. So that Heimer will now be denied. We are still expecting the Lux, but I am now curious, because if we are not going to take jungle here for Shaden, what do we end up doing? Is it just going to be a blind Cassante, maybe, denying that from Bejani? Are we going to see maybe Robbie Bob just slam, something that brings crowd control mid? I don't think we're going to see that, but we could see Flux Sejuani again, if that wants to be the call here for EG, but then you're really asking for a Viego ban.
I mean, so far on the season, Shaden has played Poppy, Viego, Vi, and Sej. Would like to see something that gets onto that back line, and this is going to be one of those right now. It does play to that flex, once again, that Shaden and Soul were doing. Sejuani going to be locked in for EGC.
Well, with Sejuani taken, yeah, I expect a Cassante here. As honestly, at this point, CLG, just ban Viego, man. Drop the ego and get rid of this champion.
Don't let Shaden play it.
Yeah, I banned Viego and Jax. I think that's kind of where my head's at.
Was it 10 kills before he saw his first death?
Yep.
Technically, that's what was the KDA from last time? It was 11 kills, so technically that was 21.
11-0 and 7, yeah.
21 before you finally saw death again.
It was over 30 if you include assists. Pretty good. He did go down twice that last game, but honestly, who cares? As the Silas ban, I gotta say, that is not Viego, and that's not Jax, so I don't love this ban. But maybe we see Serenok setting up for a Syndra. If you are going to run Syndra, Silas plus Sejuani can be a deadly combo and pressuring that early.
It has been a pretty strong one for Serenok to just go to time and time again. Did start off early with a lot of Karma picks and started to get more comfort for that Syndra. EGC going to recognize that. They will ban that away from Serenok. I'm curious how CLG Faith are going to approach this mid lane. Because for Robbie, the most success has been on that Galio being that front line, but Robbie historically has been more of a control mage player than anything else.
Yeah, the Victor specialist, right?
Yeah.
But at the moment, it feels like empowering Shaden is the move. We do not have a Viego ban. I gotta say, I think that's just gonna be a Sejuani top. I'm expecting Viego. CLG Faith letting them play their strat. I will say they did this against FlyFam. In the one of the last series we saw CLG Faith play, day 3 of last week. They ran back a draft that they lost. Well, they were winning the game until they lost. And then YFAM threw that game, even though they were ahead. So CLG, maybe a team that's focused on changing up fewer variables to try and make sure that, they can still find wins or learn from their last game and win in a similar draft. So this is something kind of common I've been seeing from CLG. I got to say, though, I don't know why you wouldn't get rid of Shaden's Viego after what he's done in the 2 games. We'll see if CLG has a plan for it.
Yeah, that's the big question. Can they take down Shaden's Viego if that is going to be the lock-in?
I expect Vi. I think you just slam Vi here. Okay. Victor deny. Not at all bad. It does really discourage a Lissandra and a Galio coming out from Robbie Bob.
So without taking away from Robbie Bob, it does pinch that pool a little bit for the mid lane. A point of attack potentially for CLG Faith. Serenok has faced off against Robbie Bob a lot, and I was speaking with Serenok. He said that he feels like he's figured out Robbie Bob, but Robbie's not dissuaded, man. He's still going for the Galio.
Oh, here comes the Viego. Same comp for EG. Why not? I mean, they're making it work. They're winning these games pretty soundly. If you don't deny it, you better have a game plan for it. So we'll see if Victor is enough on the side of CLG Faith. I got to say, they do scale rather nicely right now on the red side, but early game, that early Rift Herald, I think they have to drop. I don't think there's any way they can win that fight.
So much frontline, so much power for EGC running back a lot of what they had with that first comp. Now CLG Faith.
Yeah.
It's gonna
I like Graves.
Graves into this one?
Yeah, I actually do like Graves here. I think Graves really benefits into the top side. I think there's no way you can move Graves. So I like the pick here from NXI. This is a better setup for CLG, but still, you're giving EG the one comp they've had a lot of success with. So we'll see if CLG not only has a plan in the draft, but also in the game.
There'll be a lot of damage too. You got the double marksman coming in. Will require some farming for NXI. And that's going to be my question. How does this match up Shaden versus NXI and the Viego versus Graves matchup?
So again, we're going to have to see if Shaden works his way towards the top side. It should be bot push for the Caitlyn, along with the Lux early. Heimer can help contest that, but still the range, Kate Lux a little bit too much. And NXI, if Viego gets the jump on Graves, Viego wins. If Graves finds Viego, you can kind of harass Viego a little bit, but Viego still skirmishes very strongly around level 3. So Shaden does have the opportunity, again, to move into the jungle, try and find NXI in the Graves, as he will have the support of Galio. But still expecting top lane focus early, and then reverse the clear at some point to work your way towards bot, because that's just what the meta is at the moment.
We're now ready to hit the Rift. Evil Geniuses Challengers versus CLG Faith, game number 2. EGC took a very commanding lead. That game number 1, it was CLG Faith finding these slight little team fight comebacks. They got the damage to try and make that a reality again if they do fall behind, but you really don't want Shaden going off to the races early.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Yeah, I'd say that's a rather intelligent, recognizable point that you bring up here, Deserux. I feel like EG, they have 3 wins on the board. All 3 are from Shaden smashing the game, and 2 are on Viego. So we're just going to have to see if NXI maybe has a plan for that. Again, with Graves, you do have the opportunity to level 1. So all eyes really on NXI to see where he starts and where he goes, as we're expecting him to start on the top side, work his way bot. But again, if you do find Viego, you do have the potential to harass him. So, working our way top side. Another mirrored clear. Curious. This surprises me.
Feels like the game plan for EGC is just Shaden smash. Shaden C champion, Shaden kill champion.
Does surprise me a bit, though, as Graves working away from the Jhin Heimer is something where now Shaden being spotted starting on blue. We'll see what kind of response NXI has for this. He could cut straight. Well, that's the thing, actually, with NXI. Okay, I think NXI is starting on this side of his jungle because he feels like if he doesn't, it can be contested when Viego like makes his way there. Because Kate Lux will have Shove and Galio will have Prio. So I think NXI is just trying to make sure he gets these camps, and so they aren't contested after the first few waves.
Shaden's not afraid to invade and do some havoc over there.
It's like he could have like went blue, Gromp, red, and then went to go like fight Graves with the support of Galio plus Lux Kate. So I think that's why NXI is doing this. I don't think it's the best for the map, but I think it is the best for NXI. And there's a NXI can carry this game if he gets ahead on the Graves, given the comps.
And you can tell it was on the mind of EGC, Robbie Bob walking out from the lane there to put that ward over by the Raptor camp. So they will get information on where NXI is pathing, but for the better in NXI's case, as you had mentioned earlier, Shaden still going over towards that bot side where you will have a lot of strong priority for quite some time in mobility and smoothie.
And NXI is spotted and is behind on the clear, as Viego did receive that juiced up Sejuani leash. That's so nice early.
Heavy shove coming in. Such a long-range duo, having both the Kate Lux. It can be quite frustrating to have to handle there, and you can see right now Sketch and Plux dealing with that, especially when you do get the light binding in, sets up a free trap. Be quick on the response there, but Sketch is able to bring in at least quite some damage on these early trades.
Also, I'm wondering if Sketch practiced some Jhin support. Like, maybe he's got a little bit more games on this champ, as Jhin support has been cropping up. But CLG Faith, at least able to deter a dive here, as they don't want to be in too much trouble. As Shaden's actually skipping over the crab. He is spotted by a turret and a ward. CLG Faith knows that he's here, but Plux is level 2. We'll see how aggressively EG wants. They don't have a wave, so Shaden will do the crab, and we'll see if he returns to this bot wave after.
But putting CLG Fate's bot lane under pressure, at least early. Clearing out all that vision, especially getting it before the sweeper timed out. Going to be blind as CLG Fate's bot lane, and this is what Shaden wants. Keep them guessing, keep them pushed in. And now returning over back to that side, as you were mentioning, just going to take the recall instead.
He is spotted. We'll see if there's any harass that comes out here inside of CLG Faith. Sketch could throw a W to try and stop his base. Not the case, but it is just full clears early for the junglers. And not too much action. As we'll see, the other option that Shaden has right now is, again, if you go top, while you have Sejuani up there, you can try and chain CC Bejani on this Cassante. So that is one other play that Shaden does have the option to look for after this Gromp.
Flux is not having a good time so far. A lot of this harassment, you can't really stop it.
It's a tough lane.
The Caitlyn Lux.
It is a tough lane here, as Kate Lux just has so much range, and Lux does have a pretty decent way to deal with the turrets from Heimer. So the only harass that Lux really has the opportunity to land is from the Ws, and besides that, it's a really solid lane phase here from Mobility and Smoothie. Doing a nice job with that Prio K pick.
They're shoved in if NXI wants to play into that direction. Lux. Every time you walk that specific route, I always get scared. Because that makes it that much easier for like a light binding or loosen singularity to hit you almost guaranteed. It
is skill shot alley for a reason. Also, I do want to say, something you guys can use at home is Mobility to eat the Comet there from Plux. If Comet is up and heading towards you, if you do not click, so if you click outside the Comet and then do not have any other clicks register, you do dodge out on Comet consistently if it's not tagged with a slow or anything else like that. So Mobility getting tagged by that is something that he can go back and workshop, but with his bot Prio, it is the middle of the second clear Dragon for Shade, and he's been power farming, and we'll pick up the first neutral objective in time for EG, using that bot lane Prio, and making sure that there is no Dragon available to trade once EG looks towards that Rift Herald.
Not too much real worry for EGC's bottom lane. They got that shove, they got the harassment going, so an easy first Dragon coming out for Shaden. You even had the priority coming out in the mid lane from Robbie Bob, who's pivoting out just a touch there. A lot of early control should go EGC's way. We're still waiting for like those first items to get picked up by NXI before the Graves really starts to have an impact on this map.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised EG, they based on this wave instead of waiting for a cannon wave. Better to base on the cannon waves, is that wave you're only going to get access to about 2 creeps here in the back half. Quite early game. Cassante's winning lane on his own, who would have thought? And on the flip side, we have Kate Lux getting shoved, who would have thought? Kind of a boring game. We're just going to have to wait to see where our junglers decide to go. So that really feels like it's a game dictated around them.
It's going to be stock standard for a while.
We're gonna fight Herald. Don't. We're gonna have action here in a minute.
Will we?
That's good. Yes. No, I mean CLG doesn't have to fight Herald.
You said we're fighting at Herald. Put a Taco Bell bet on that.
I'm getting T-balled tonight either way, man. Come on. I don't work tomorrow. I'm done. I gotta celebrate the end of the week.
Okay, if they do fight at Herald, I'll pay for it.
Oh, I don't think CLG should. So I think they're gonna pass. But
I just want fighting. That's all I want, Cody. I want some action.
I respect it, man. I respect it. All right, I'll try and get you back today. We'll do a. I don't want to say a double or nothing, but I'll have to offer the same to you at some point. You know.
Next series.
All right. I like that. Next series is hype, by the way. We've got CLG Challengers going up against Dignitas Challengers, two of our top teams in the league early on. Should be a good one.
Don't forget, Super Heavyweight Smackdown.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gabi and Insanity, two old names from last year. Same thing when it comes to the junglers in this space.
Nice.
As already going to get the light binding
Nice step
through
up.
and just really posturing forward and harassing the living daylights out of CLGF's bot lane.
Yeah, I love when marksmen dodge forward. There's nothing more punishing than dodging forward. Is at the moment Serenok.
Oh, Serenok's really locked down right now. Has to burn the flash to get away.
And this is power some of the Herald set up as mobility. Well done. Able to get another flash out of Pluck. So the bot lane's winning on its own. Mobility, the sub, doing really well with his Kate Lock. Smoothie as well, helping out, getting the cleanse out of the Jhin. And with that mid-play, Serenok losing flash and ult, that's going to be enough for no fight at Herald. Your wallet is safe, Destructs. And the lead for EG is starting to stack on up.
I mean, mobility is no slouch. I was saying it earlier about that Winthrop coach who was saying that he's got hands. He's very mechanically gifted to that extent, just raw when it comes to the competitive space. Only has a few months of competitive experience and already on a semi-pro stage subbing in, but still holding his own and having a good performance against his bot lane of CLGF.
And again, I mean, this opportunity for players like Robbie Bob, like Mobility, it's not easy to work with subs. It's not easy to be the sub and not easy to play with one. But it is one where, again, like these are players that, you know, they played a high competitive double themselves outside of NACL. The learnings they take from the scrims, the competitive games they get, they can take back to their teams and try and improve even quicker as a player. You know, that's what Robbie Bob really wants fans to walk away from. He's got his last couple of games this weekend, and we'll see if they can do that in their own collegiate seasons and whatever else they try to compete in. So really good to see it. Nice to see Mobility have some nice moments in this game.
Both of our teams kind of grouping up around this mid area. I was taking a notice of that just a second ago. It does result in an exchange between Robbie and Plux, but nothing else to really follow through. Taking a look at the state of the game right now, we're heading towards our 10th minute, and slight lead coming out for EGC, but only very slight. Relatively even is this game, and we're having pretty much a slow start like we had in game number 1.
Wow. Soul actually winning, forcing a Cassante out too. You don't see that very often. Especially with Fiora, unless Fiora's in the game, but yeah, looks like EG looking to scale a little bit. It was the Everfrost last game for Robbie Bob's Galio, but this time around going for that Rod of Ages, so more of a scaling element, more stats later in the game, going to help me a little bit stickier, deal with some of the poke within the lane phase with Victor, and also have some more stats as we try and fight later on. Has been quiet.
Posturing towards this bottom end, though, because the wave is shoved in. Shaden might look to attempt something over in this bottom lane. This wave, not too much really left in it, so instead going to pivot mid-wise. Doesn't know he's on top of a ward, so CLGF having some information on Shaden's positioning.
Yeah, they just want to posture for this upcoming dragon, so Robbie clearing this out's good. He won't know that XI is here, but maybe we get a smoke screen. As meanwhile, the siege continues. Bot.
Nice in the hole out. More harassment. Oh, deadly flourish underneath the tower. Will result in mobility taking one shot. Not enough to do too much with this curtain call. Trying to alleviate some of the pressure is going to be CLGF's bot lane.
Get out of there, Robbie.
While Shaden is grabbing that dragon. NXI, not realizing it, will be late over to that position. EG
is still cruising early. I gotta say that with... So one thing that I guess I didn't really mention early in the game, but when jungle clears like are mirrored and not matched up, I think sometimes it's a little bit harder to go... given the strength that EG had earlier, it was harder to go find him. And now Cernak's dead. He's got no flash. Good night. Yeah. All right, good play.
Robbie Bob and Shaden sync up very, very well. Robbie Bob on this Galio, all you need is the crowd control to just let Shaden do the rest of the work.
And that was what EG was setting up when they made the initial play on Victor, right? They got the ult, the flash out at the Herald timer that enabled them to get Herald, and now Shaden hits the revisit as NXI trying to get what damage down that he can, but it will be first brick going over to EG. Nice play from them. I love using the Herald on the Victor lane too. When you have Galio into Victor, it is so hard to take that Victor's turret, given the wave clear that Victor brings to the table. So the fact they knocked down mid, that's an even bigger win here for EG Challengers.
Huge win for EGC. They'll open up the map a lot more to get vision deeper into CLG Fate's jungle. But look at this top side.
Nice.
Soul looking to take the 1v1 against Bijani. Little stat, Cubby. Soul was the only top laner who did not get a solo kill. That has changed right now as he takes on Bijani.
Doing it on the Sejuani too, man. This is like, I mean, is it really a flex for with Shaden at this point? Who knows? But Soul is showing that, you know, he's got some proficiency on this champion. Has mobility now, chasing down Sketch. Getting flash up. Oh, all right. That was a little bit too aggressive from mobility, but I appreciate the look. We'll end on that silver lining, you know? I appreciate the aggressiveness.
Oh, man. Still love it on that top side for Soul. What was going on over there? Soul on Sejuani against Cassante of all champions getting the 1v1. With that, that's more power going over to EGC. It seems like every lane is just outright winning, Cubby.
I mean, this is a lane that Soul was, I mean, not against Cassante, but a champion that Soul was comfortable to pull out on the LCS stage. Sejuani versus Gwen. Very common matchup from last year. As Bouncing Blade used the counter mobility, but you can see Smoothie body blocking here. That is a lot of damage taken. Okay.
Yeah, got the flash out of Smoothie there. The towers, the turrets put up by Plux did a lot of work. They were just trying to stall out right in front of that. Didn't allow them to, as Shaden, facing off with NXI, has Plux around the corner. A little bit of verse. Collateral damage going to go out over the wall. Here. Oh, beautiful with the light binding from Smoothie. Will make just that of Plux, and the dive looking to be set up by Robbie Bob and Shaden. Zaranok responding.
Shaden was actually burned ult, wasn't able to get the reset. So pushing here.
Ooh, Robbie Bob. Taunt on to 2. It's enough. Shaden gets reset number 1, and it's going to be on the Jhin. Deadly Flourish does land. Doesn't get the snare. But that's all that's needed. Robbie Bob and Shaden, when they sync up, they do magic.
But also what I love about this play from EG, yes, they have prio, but by making this, yeah, they only get 1 kill, like 1 extra kill, but they also take the flashes away. And that's very important. As, oh boy, Soul, not again.
Oh, Soul's going for it again. Gonna be a little bit harder this time. Bijani's ready for it and willing to throw hands. The burn going through from Soul, but oh, he doesn't have enough mana to continue the fight.
Yeah, he had the Radiant Virtue healing. That was kind of helping him stack on up. And now Soul is going to have to head for the hills, get some wards down, make sure that he can farm this wave as NXI is not up here. He was just dealing with Shaden in the bot side. But again, like that play from EG, it is 1 bonus kill, but those flashes are so goddamn valuable because this Galio, the heroic entrance, the taunt, again, if you snag anyone as Galio, it's so easy for Shaden and the rest of EG to follow up. So I really think that the Galio read from EG, I think Galio is a champ, very strong, very playable right now. Love to see EG taking advantage of this with Robbie Bob.
And playing it towards the bottom lane where you already had Smoothie and mobility winning. I mean, Robert Bobbert on this Galio, it's the answer they have to this very, very sub-heavy squad, but it is the right answer. Robert just looks absolutely fine being that wall and getting so many of these taunts onto the back line of CLG.
Yeah, I love the read from Robbie Bob in the back half too. We're just gonna, you know, channel up the taunt and look at this. We're gonna get a kill and snag some flashes. That initial play that we saw mid on the Zaranok to get his flash turned into a kill later. Victor without flash, very easily punishable for Galio and Viego. And I want to see if Shaden can sync up, do it again as they look to do so here. No flash on Sketch.
Ooh, trying to throw a trap is going to be both sides right now. Zaranok and NXI are waiting in that bush, and EG not really privy to it at the moment, setting up for Dragon.
I'll give CLG a little bit of credit here. Something that we were talking about in the last game. They needed to take control of the terrain with the poke they have. With Jhin plus Heimer, that's a very similar setup for him in this game. They made it to the bot side river first. So EG has to fight uphill against Heimer, Jhin. That's a lot harder than, you know, CLG trying to take control of this river. This is not easy to plan, but Soul, that's early engaged. Robbie on the back half.
Finds it onto Plux. Teleport's coming through, but Robbie has the flank, and Robbie will tear apart Serenok. 4 versus 5. Still looking to take it. Bajani realizing it's not in his odds. Forward. Shaden goes. Double kill found by Robbie Bob. NXI trying to escape, but Shaden will stay right on top of him for the killing spree. Tries to get Plux. Will get his flash and EGC. A team fight win taken to CLG.
Bro, it's just a Viego comp, you know? We're just gonna slam a lot of champs that go well with Viego and play from there. Just gonna let Shaden take over this game as EG making this one look easy again. Whenever you take tools away, summoner spells away, as you're playing with a Galio, that just makes fights so much easier. Props to Robbie Bob. That TP was great on the back half. The flash in, that fight was over before it started because of the setup that EG was able to have.
Now, Robbie Bob, you were saying this was an early engage to come out from Soul, but that is what we didn't see on the tail end right here, was Robbie Bob getting this beautiful flank.
And the engage from Soul, the good thing about it is that it splits the fight. So Sketch can't walk up, Plux can't walk up either, and it just makes sure that you get the first kill for Shaden on Serenok's Victor. And from there, and we've seen how easy it is for EG to front to back with these Viego comps. And again, making it work. Very well done by EG as this sub-squad looking to push to 4-4. I will say this is a matchup that we did expect for them to 2-0 against CLG Faith. If we didn't say that earlier, that was my expectation coming in, but the manner in which they're doing it, especially this game, looking good is Smoothie.
Respect for Smoothie.
Serenok's no flash. I think he's still dead.
Give it a good try.
He's still
dead.
It's
all right. It's all right. The target is Serenok, and you're getting that nonetheless. Serenok going to try and make a fancy play on the way out, but it's another kill. Not going to Shaden this time, but mobility.
Spread the love. Give some to Caitlyn. Like that. Mobility snagging that one for himself as it's a 7k Goldie. This game's starting to get a little bit out of control. As long as EG keeps on playing fast and making plays. If you get Summoner Spells out, Galio is so valuable. So we'll see if EG can look on Plux next as he is flashless on the Heimer and Shaden is rotating.
Oh, Shaden hopping out of this brush will not get the stun onto Plux. Plux going to use the ultimate for the turret, but here comes Robbie Bob. Gets the taunt at max range.
Another kill for Shaden. EG's cruising in this one, Deserux, as it is 9-0, 3 Dragons to 0, 2 Rift Heralds to 0, 4 turrets now to 0. Do we start talking about, pitching a perfect game here? Is it worth bringing up?
Don't curse it, Cubby. Don't curse it. You curse worse things.
I'm mentioning it.
All right. Might be a perfect game. We're on track for it right now, but Johnny going to try and change that. Robbie Bob holding it up with the Justice Punch. Shaden cut off from the rest of the team. Gets pulled by Sejuani, but that's the way Shaden wants to go. There goes. Perfect game. Going to be ruined. Good job, Cubby. You took that one away. Soul throwing in the ultimate. Throws it on to NXI. NXI will flash back. Soul taking a chunk of damage, but he's the tank. Wants to absorb all of that. Shaden jumps forward alongside Robbie Bob. The damage is done. 1-for-1 trade.
Yeah, let's go back. Refill this health bar. Still a lot of waves getting shoved in here on the side of EGC. So not going to be a problem as Shaden does actually have some info. Does he look for Plux on the back half? Yeah, here we go.
Oh, Shaden. Oh, Shaden.
He's got this.
Shaden, he's an absolute menace, man. He's got Robbie Bob as well. The whole team able to show up. Everyone but Waluigi showing up to this fight as Shaden hops towards Sketch. Will chase him down on the opposite side. NXI saying, please leave my marksman alone. A god like Shaden takes down another team fight.
I can't say this enough, guys, but again, EG, like from talking with some of their staff, they feel like they traded for the best prospect in Challengers League. And what better statement than with 2 subs just be like, all right, Shaden, just go play your champ and carry the games. As he's looking to now go 3-0 on Viego, and I will say, Smite's still alive for NXI and Soul's low, so I don't think they can do this Baron, but he's making the games look so easy, EG, as they just play around Viego. Like, this is Shaden picking his champ, dictating the pace of the game, saying, obviously with the help of teammates, but like, hey, this is when, where, and how we can fight. And EG have looked like they cannot be stopped as long as this is what Shaden's doing.
Yeah, a roster built around one of the strongest prospects from last year. Shaden continues that journey. It's going to result with double-digit kills coming out in almost multiple games now. Shaden just 3 more away from making that a reality back-to-back. Now the next objective that's going to be on the map, we got Dragon. 1 minute will be Infernal. CLG Faith They are on their top side of the jungle right now, trying to get control of the vision. It is an infernal map, so there's going to be a lot more windows of opportunity to move around this side of the jungle. But the trick here is you got to get through the walls of Robbie, Bob, and Soul.
All right, EG right now, their comms. Who doesn't have flash? All right, it's Sketch and NXI. All right, look for them. that is what's going on in the EG camp at the moment, as Shaden wrapping around. Oh, look, we found Serenok.
Wow, 100% right there, Cubby. They look for Sketch, and they'll take him down. Going on a killing spree will be Robbie Bob as they look for more Evil Geniuses onto Bijani for chasing him also around. The Cassante going to get a little bit turned around and drop to the ground. Shaden chasing onto Plux.
Got another
will not be
flash.
able to get the stun onto him, but burns the flash nonetheless. And yeah, this is looking completely clinical at this point. Soul jumping over final spark. It's the final breath of Plux.
And I know for Shaden, like with EG, I mean, like, this is a player that is so mechanically talented, but still a player they're looking to develop when it comes to how well you're able to play in comp. Honestly, just picking your pocket pick and saying, all right, go dictate the map, go lead, go win a game, is a pretty good way to do that. I mean, this is what Shaden can do to make sure that, like, hey, this is what got me here, playing champs like Viego and winning games in solo queue. Now just go do that in comp. Go build a comp where Viego's built to be successful and go do it. Really like to see this coming out of Shaden and EG, as they will get chunked out pretty heavy. Open up a TP for Bejani, but that is a Galio ult.
Potentially a last stand, but here comes the CLG champion looking to save the rest of the teammates after Bejani. Final spark goes out, and Sarah not going to taste a bit of that. Goes to about a third health. Same thing with Bejani right there. Both of the Bay State boys running low.
So let's TP.
Out comes Ace in the hole. Bejani still struggling. Bejani goes down. Frontline defeated.
And no flash for Plux. Shaden took that one away, and now we have a Rywise on Heimer. Let's see what Shaden can do.
Going after Serenok will be Robbie Bob. Says, hey, it's that easy to read me. Well, do it right now, or your life will be forfeit. Shaden hopping forward to Serenok will take him down. Gets stunned up by the gravitational field, but it does not matter. These plays are stunning. EGC looking to close.
All right. When are we going to ban Viego now? That's
Always.
That's the real question.
Shaden's
Always?
too damn good at this champion.
Well, you know, I could have never called the Sejuani flex into Viego after the first 3 picks of draft in this one. No one saw this coming, Desirux.
It is basically, I don't know. That draft might have been a replay.
I think it's time to pay some respect.
Yeah, we got a flow chart for wildcard. We need one for Shaden as well.
You know what else I like?
What do you like?
One of our collegiate players, you know, filling up a book. Love to see that. Robbie Bob. We got 25 pages. Got some learnings.
That's good. He's done his homework. Finals.
Doing some learnings, baby.
Yeah.
I always love to see learn. I don't know why I'm sticking with this word. All right, Robbie. He's showing on the top side. This game's done and dusted, guys. It's a 13k gold lead. And that's CLG. I honestly, like, they have to scale a lot. I don't think it's going to happen against this Galio. Bejani.
Soul didn't even take damage in that fight.
I didn't even let Desirux play-by-play that fight. Oh, boy.
Oh, flash forward for mobility. Just needed one more auto to take down Sketch. Plux trying to get away, but there's a light binding chasing him down. And a final spark to find the money kill right onto Sketch Dreams.
Final touches going on to this one, folks. I hope the other stream was more entertaining. Of course, you can catch more action at Path to LCS. This one was pretty done and dusted from the start, Desirux, as Shaden, baby. Not much else to say. 3-0 on the Viego. 3 out of 4 wins. And all 4 have been hard carries from Shaden. I think the team's starting to play better and step up around him. Really like how EG played out this map as a team, but Shaden, he's the carry man, and he has just been taking over games.
One of the top prospects now going with double-digit kills 3 games in a row. What a performance from Shaden. Nexus Tower is going down. And like that, Nexus is exposed, and the Evil Geniuses Challengers can just walk on in off the performance of one of the hottest prospects in the NACL, Shaden. Evil Geniuses Challengers will take a 2-0 victory against CLG Faith.
I mean, game 1, drama. Interesting. Game 2, all EG. As you know, some of the mistakes that we saw, I think that Cinder Ban was a nice adaptation on the side of EG. Do want to give them some praise for that. Recognizing that anything that stymies Galio, a little bit tough to deal with for that team, but man, I mean, that was clinical. Like, they had full priority. Both side lanes won. Robbie did his job and followed up Shaden when he needed it. And EG cruised. There was one kill away from being a perfect game.
Not just Robbie, but Mobility over in the bottom lane.
Yeah,
they were able to dominate
won.
that bot side. It felt like everything for EGC just went so well. A big congratulations for them and a well-played game number 2 and a well-played 2-0 series. I want to hear from them, so we're going to take a moment to throw it over a short break. When we return, we'll have Sierra Dawn on the other side with an interview.
Welcome back, everyone, to our Verizon post-game interview. Gonna talk with Soul after that 2-0 victory. The first one definitely was an interesting game at the end. I think that's how I'm gonna put it. But that second game was just complete domination. You got a solo kill that you had no business getting. You all were looking good. How are you feeling about the split so far?
Yeah, I mean, the split has been a little rocky, you know, with subs coming in and stuff like that. Shout out to Mobility and Robbie for stepping in on such short notice. So we've had like stuff or complications, you know, but for the most part, I'm happy with our progress, especially with our subs. You know, Mobility's been improving a lot. Robbie's, you know, showing that he's, you know, capable of playing at this sort of level, and you know, I'm really happy with the progress our entire team has made.
Glad to hear it, especially since I did want to talk about the subs that the team has. Glad to hear they're improving. How has it just been in general? I mean, there is going to be a pretty stacked roster on the other side for EGC, but right now, being able to have these subs in, is everything seeming to mesh okay? How's that been?
Yeah, no, the personalities are great. At first, Shaden was like an interesting personality to work with, but I think we've all grown to, you know, kind of mesh with him quite well, and he's like a great team leader, a great player. So yeah, I think in terms of personalities wise, we meshed better than I possibly could have asked, so I'm very grateful for that.
Glad to hear. And I mean, Shaden was absolutely popping off during those games as well. The Viego getting through not just once but twice, I mean, was insane. How is it being able to play with this player, and is the team kind of built to enable him, or is he just popping off on his own regards?
I wouldn't say the team is built to enable him. I think EG, you know, has a very strong kind of idea when they build rosters, and they want it to be flexible, so you know, players can play all different type of roles. But I think in terms of Shaden, he's just a very, very strong player. I mean, he's obviously shown that he's capable of playing these carries such as Viego, but he's also very proficient on other champions, and he can play all the meta junglers. But you know, right now that's something that we're finding a lot of success with, which is putting him on the carries. So he's more than happy to take that role.
Then going on forward, once you're able to get your full roster, how does that look then for EG in comparison to how things have been going so far? Have you already gotten to practice a little bit with King and Ryoma, or is it going to be just restarting, relearning once they join in?
I think we have like a good head start of the season, getting an idea of the meta and stuff like that. But I definitely think our team will be a lot stronger once we have our entire roster. Yeah, I think once Ryoma and King arrives, I think anything below a first in playoffs is a disappointment for our roster.
Because that is an up there goal. This is you're not afraid of any other team. This is the roster that's designed to be winning playoffs here.
Not at all. I think once our full roster is here, we have the talent available, and me, Smoothie, and Shaden have shown that we're able to play together as a team already with just us three. Once the two other pieces arrive, I think we definitely have what it takes to take it all the way.
Right, then the visa complications aside, what would you say is your other biggest obstacle then to achieving that goal?
I mean, playing with subs in general is just tough, you know, because they're not LA, you know, Robbie's playing on higher ping, and it's definitely a lot more intense of an environment because I understand this is Robbie Bob and Mobility's first time playing in an academy environment. So they're trying to pick up as much as they can, and they're trying to learn as much as possible in a short period of time before, you know, our matches. So that's definitely been a struggle, but they've been doing a good job, and they've been making solid progress.
Is there anything else other than the subs coming in that might be a struggle to getting that first place in playoffs, or are you just feeling confident with everything going on?
I think in terms of, I mean, it's hard to say now because once again we don't have our full roster.
Yeah.
But in my interactions with Shaden and Smoothie, I mean, I know these guys are the best in their role, and I know that they're extremely hard workers. And so far, you know, it's only been good vibes with them and great gameplay. So just looking forward to keeping that up.
To hear. I know it's always hard talking about the goal and team and stuff when there is the subs, but I definitely do appreciate you opening up, especially their spot that they've had so far. Then just on a personal note with you, how are you just enjoying your time with this team out in LA, being able to participate in NACL?
Oh, it's amazing. You know, I love competition. I love competing, and I love seeing my growth. Unfortunately, in week 1, I definitely did not perform up to my own standards. I've had like some personal issues going on there, but now that that's all cleared up, I'm glad I'm able to show off some more of the gameplay that I'd like to showcase in week 2.
Just get the little dust off your shoulder week 1. That's all you need to do, right?
Yeah.
Thank you so much for talking to me. Before I let you go, I'll let you have a moment if there's any parting words, any shout outs you have.
Yeah, shout out to all the EG sponsors, you know, HP, Secret Labs, yeah, these chairs are sick. Yeah, and shout out to all the fans, you know, yeah, thank you guys for cheering us on. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Soul, for talking with me. Have a great rest of your day, okay?
It's a pleasure. Have a good one.
Thank you. As for us, we're going to take a quick break before we get started with our final series of the day. Get a snack, get some water. Be right back.